Hello everyone, Agent Gold here. Welcome to my mini Let's Play of Final Fantasy VI. If you're watching this video, I'm assuming that means you either know the story or you watch my intro video. And if neither of those things are true, I recommend going back and looking at the intro once, just so you won't be totally lost on what's going on. So, Sabin jumped from the raft and got separated from his friends while they were on their way to Narsh. And we're going to find out just what happened to him after that. So they start us off on the world map, and the first thing I see is this little house over here. Hopefully the developers were feeling friendly and will give us something here to point us in the right direction. So what do we see? There's a man and his dog getting some water from the well, and well, there's a man on a chocobo who apparently has better things to do than to talk to us. So let's see what this guy has to say. Maybe he can help us out. Looks like the Empire is going to be in our future here. We don't actually know what Doma is yet, we haven't seen it, but we will. We will. So this fellow, he's a paid assassin named Shadow. And there's something that I actually never figured out about this part. Shadow, he's not a very emotional guy. He doesn't have anything against the Empire. He normally kills people for money, and he knows that we're going to be facing the Empire here, and there's probably going to be fighting involved. Why is he doing this? Why is he coming along for free? Does he just need something to do or somewhere to go? I never figured that out. But let's take a look inside the house. Real quick, I'll warn you, this is Shadow's theme song, and it's just the first of many songs in this game where you're going to hear me say, this is a great song. Just wanted to let you know that. So there's an old man in here, and let's see what he has to say. Maybe he can help us. Or maybe he'll mistake us for someone else. It still kind of surprises me that there are apparently lawnmowers in this game. I know it's a steampunk era, but lawnmowers? That's just not the first thing you would think of. Okay, fixing the stove. Maybe that's something we can actually do. Let's give it a try. Ah! Okay, maybe we can't fix the stove. Wait, I'm not the one who brought up kids, man. You're the one. I don't know what the belt is. Well, I know what it is, but you don't, so... Yeah, let's get out of here. Okay, here's this guy again. Let's see what he has to say. Okay, so this is gonna be our shop for this part, because there aren't really any towns that are within walking distance. So, most of these items I don't really pay attention to, I just usually have enough. Enemies are pretty good about handing them out. A plumed hat would add a little bit of defense, but it's not really enough to be worth worrying about, so I'm just going to pass that by. We'll find something better later anyway. And then there's these things. These are items for Shadow. He's got a command called Throw, and sometimes he literally throws things, but other times he uses it for these scrolls. So, shurikens, these are dirt cheap. Let's not even fool around. Let's get 50 of these, and that way we'll just never have to worry about running out. The scrolls are kind of useful, but I'm not going to be getting them this time. The invisibility scroll helps him to dodge physical attacks, but he can't dodge magic attacks when he's invisible, and it lasts between fights, so it's pretty useful. Shadow scroll blocks one physical attack with no downsides, but it doesn't last between fights, so I'm not sure why that one's more expensive, because it isn't very useful. But Shadow has a different ability that I'd like to get more chances to show off, so I'm not going to bother with the scrolls for now. That's all we need to do here, so let's get going. So he said, oh! Okay, so I'm not going to be skipping over random encounters because these two are strong enough that they can one-shot everything that's thrown at them. So while we're heading to the next destination, maybe I can just explain a couple of things. Menus in this game are normally blue by default, but there's a lot you can do with them. You can see that I like to make mine gold, and I actually did that before I took on the screen name Agent Gold, so, you know, maybe that's like Destiny or Fate or something like that. That looks like that forest that he mentioned, so we're on the right track. This game has a front row and back row system. If you're in the front row, your physical attacks do more damage, but you also take more damage from physical attacks. If you're in the back row, those things are cut in half. The Blitz command and the Throw command aren't affected by this, so I like to keep these guys in the back row. Aura Cannon is pretty cool because it doesn't actually cost anything to use it, so spamming Kamehameha waves to one-shot everything is a valid strategy in this game, believe it or not. Something just to take note of, because we'll be seeing some relevance in a minute, is how much experience these enemies are giving us. They're giving us somewhere around 60 to 100 every fight, but during some fights that we won't be able to avoid, we won't be getting much experience at all. Here we are! Let's listen in on what these guys are saying, shall we? Like Kefka's here. Sabin and Shadow have never seen him, but we know what he's like. We hear someone named General Leo. Looks like the soldiers don't esteem Kefka very highly either. Soldier B just doesn't know how to keep his mouth shut. I think he's just harassing the soldiers right now. That's a little severe for just, you know, taking things easy on your job, don't you think? I wonder if we'll get to see this General Leo guy in here, or if he's somewhere else. Okay, remember when Shadow told us that they had their sights on Doma? That must be where they're attacking right now, and those two are going to be helping out with it. That's quite a force they've got there. This is not going to be easy for Doma to resist. Who do we have here? So this is Doma's strongest warrior. He's a samurai. His name is Cyan. He's 50 years old. You can kind of tell that from his portrait. He's been defending this place for a long time, so he knows how these kind of skirmishes work. He knows that taking down their commander will cause enough confusion that the rest of them won't know what to do, and it should be easy from there no matter what. So that's the plan we're going with. Now, before I continue, just give me 1 second. I got a thing or two I want to take care of off screen. Be right back. Alright, so let's have a look at what Cyan can do. Like I said, he's a samurai. He's actually kind of a mix between a medieval knight and a samurai, but he's got a command called Bushido. He's got 3 techniques with it right now. He's got Fang, which is just a standard attack that's not affected by being in the back row. He's got Sky, where he waits to be attacked and then launches a powerful counterattack against whoever hit him. And he's got Tiger, which cuts an enemy's HP in half and I think it makes them bleed because they're constantly losing HP after that. Unfortunately, this one's not as useful as you'd think because it doesn't work on bosses, and he can one-shot pretty much anything at this point, so this one's just kind of there. Now, I think I see what he means when he says that when the commander's gone, these guys will probably just run, because I'm not so convinced they know what they're doing. I mean, look at this guy. This is probably Soldier B, don't you think? So, let's see. Let's see him in action once before we go after the commander. Just going to use his first technique. I didn't give you a good chance to see it there, but when you choose Bushido, he's got this meter charging up and he's got numbers that represent his different techniques. So if you want to use a technique that's further on the list, you have to let it charge up longer. It's like he's gathering chi or something so he can unleash it. And as you can well imagine, this makes him kind of a slow character because everyone else is still able to act while he's charging, and except you can't give commands to your party members, so you kind of want to have him go last if you're going to use a high-level technique. If you noticed it from that last fight, and you'll see it again in this one, these soldiers don't give out any experience. This is what I was talking about before. So there's not really a lot of incentive to fight these guys. So after this one, I'll go right after the commander. Commander is naturally stronger than these soldiers are, so Fang isn't going to be enough to take him down. But considering he can only attack Cyan, let's try out Sky and see just how strong it is in comparison. There's no technique name there, but he's ready for it. That looked like about double damage to me. Black Belt is a good item. If you do this fight and he doesn't drop the Black Belt for some reason, go back and get it, because you're going to want that. I'll give it to Cyan a little bit later and tell you what it does then. They ran away just like they expected, so now it's going to be a waiting game for them. And then we're back here with Sabin and Shadow. And this is actually a good point for me to stop, so I will pick it up here with the next video. See you then!